to live.
Okay. Evening, everyone. This is my second session post that session where we did reading of passages through the newspaper. A very happy new year to all of you. And today's topic, again, what we're going to cover is going to be Parajumbles. So first and foremost, what are Parajumbles? Without, so Parajumbles, as a matter of fact, you can have them in almost all exams from AILET to NPAT and your exam of symbiosis. All these exams will have the presence of Parajumbles. Now, what is a Parajumble, first of all? A Parajumble is a set of sentences that are given in a jumbled manner. We have to rearrange them and form a coherent paragraph. Now, what are the different patterns for Parajumbles? The different patterns that one can see is we can easily have three different types of questions on Parajumbles. One, you can have 4 lines that are given jumbled. Now, this is very easy with option choices, obviously. Then you have a 5 lines given, and these 5 lines are jumbled. And there is a 6-line pattern also. In this pattern, you have the first line, which I'm calling as the header. That is, the opening statement is given. And your bottom statement, what I'm saying as the footer. Your header and the head and the foot of the question is fixed. And in between, you have 4 lines that are lying jumbled. So this could be something like this. So you have your opening and your last line, that is the header and the footer is fixed. And we have to do a rearrangement between the header and the footer. A 5-line, you only have this where you have A to E lines that are given to you and they are lying jumbled. So we have to rearrange. Now, obviously, you will say that this becomes very easy, that ma'am, we can read and rearrange, but there can be certain tips and clues which can help you form pairs quickly and solve the question. Our objective is to solve these questions in lesser time by not reading again and again, and probably working out with pair formation, we can easily eliminate choices and can work out the answer fast. Because at the end of the day, our objective is to solve these 3 to 4 questions per question initially. When you're practicing back home, please do not get, overwhelmed with the time that you're going to spend. So initially, try practicing 3-4 questions, but gradually also try practicing under a time frame. That means you're practicing 4 questions by taking 4 minutes per question, maybe 1 minute, maybe 1 minute, some seconds. So initially, do not put the time pressure. Be very clear that you are learning how to solve these questions by forming pairs. So next 5 minutes, we are trying to learn how pairs can be formed. What are the different ways in which our clues will be available in paragraphs and how we can form pairs in Parajumbles. Okay, so the first thing now, just give me 1 minute. So my first pair, all of us know, now understand this, that what will be our method of reading. The first thing would be that whenever some paragraph is written, maybe a 4-line, a 5-line, or a 6-line paragraph, it will be written about something, about somebody. So understand that my subject always will be available in the paragraph. There is always going to be a subject in the paragraph. Otherwise, the paragraph is going to be written on one. There won't be anything. The moment, even if I say anything, that becomes the subject of the sentence. Good evening, everyone. There are a lot of people writing me good evening. Now, if I start reading names, it will take so much of time. Good evening, everyone. So now, please understand, the moment I say this will enter, a subject will be there. That means the topic on which the paragraph is going to be written. So understand, the moment a subject enters, will take help from grammar. Now, we all know that a subject in a sentence can be a noun and can also be a pronoun. I want to make a little things, very small things, very clear for you here. See, these paragraphs are taken from a larger paragraph. So understand, let's just take this scenario that I am reading a column of a newspaper and I reached the third paragraph and I took 4 to 5 lines from the third paragraph. So possibility that might have a presence of a noun. There is equally a possibility that the noun might not be present and it only has the presence of a pronoun. So searching only for a noun might not help us. A pronoun can be a major clue for helping us form a pair. Now, in case we find a noun, now all of us know as per grammar that noun cannot be repeated again and again. So we will have to have a noun we cannot repeat. So in fact, we will have to follow the noun with a pronoun. Noun, all of you know that it's so easy to find a noun, a name, but pronoun will follow a noun. So my first pair that we can form in a 5-line, in a 4-line will be that a noun pronoun. So here we spend 2 minutes understanding what can be the different pronouns. Suppose if I'm writing about a person, let's say we're writing about a person. So what can be my pronouns? It can be he, then it can be equally can be a she also. Then they can be plurals, they, we. These are all the pronouns. It can also be I. So he, she, they, I, we can be the pronouns. But let's say we're writing not about persons, but we're writing in general about things. So it can be this, that, it, these, those. See, I write about Ram and I can follow it with a he. I write about government and I can follow it with a it. I can also use this as this is impossible. I'm talking about a situation. I can say it is impossible, equally say this is impossible. So all of you can understand that means my eyes should be well trained to find pronouns. What are the other pronouns? We can also have something like anyone or someone or everyone. We are talking about a lot of people at the top and then follow it by everyone. We can even have a either. So I'm doing nothing except for giving you a good list of pronouns. Because the moment you spot a pronoun, the first thing that should come to your mind should be that either this can be the part which will lead to a linkage with a noun. That means my first pair is going to be, we're learning 4 to 5 methods of forming pairs. So first thing would be that a noun followed by a pronoun. But here I like to add more things. So first slide we're going to make like this 7 to 8 slides. So the first slide is that we search for a noun and then we search for a linkage through a pronoun. Now the second thing that we're learning, there is equally a possibility that there are multiple nouns given now, but the same noun repeated. Now, if a same noun, now when I say a same noun, please don't get me wrong here. Same noun means the same name is repeated. Now I have Mahatma Gandhi as a full name. Then in one of the sentences, I have Gandhi. Or let's take another example here. In one of the sentences, he defines and he says customer relation management. And in one other, let's imagine this is there in A and Gandhi word was there in C. Or we can have a CRM in A and a customer relations management was lying in D. Something like that. Let's take both these examples. Now, for sure, now this is going to be like this. If you have a same noun repeated, first it will be a full name, then followed by a half name. Any option choice for this first example where C comes before, like suppose there is an option choice which says CABD, something like this will be wrong because half name cannot come before the full name. Let's have equally look at this second example. Any option choice where A, this is a full name and this is an acronym. So we can have a half name or an acronym. Acronym means a short name. So first pair we learn noun followed by a pronoun. The second, yes. You can have that also. You can have the Mahatma word. You can have Bapu. You can have a word as MG, or you can have this the Mahatma. Now could be anything. So don't only thing I'm teaching you here, the full name and the half name. Or an acronym. Instead of having Mahatma Gandhi, we can have MG also. Like here you have a CRM and a customer relation management. So it can be a United States of America and US. Here also enters, so the second part is if the same noun is repeated, then we're going to follow the full name and the half name approach. So this can be an easy way of eliminating. See, these clues are where we are helping us eliminate. We just have a look at the option and you can easily eliminate because this consists of this error. Another one to add on to this part only, we're continuing with the second part only. If there is an article with the same noun repeated. Now there is an article with the same noun. For example, if I say a woman and the woman, see noun is same, but article is changed. Article with the same noun. So can we just have a look here also? First, we talk about A will always give a general information and B will talk about a specific information. So this is again, I'm continuing. I know a woman named Betty Ford and she's undergoing a psychological disorder. Now look at it. I am introducing a woman named Betty Ford and she is undergoing a psychological disorder. So understand here that the moment I say the psychological disorder has caused a lot of trauma for her, the psychological disorder has caused a lot of trauma for her, equally talks about that first I introduced a woman and the woman, or I said a psychological disorder and the psychological disorder. So here, this is a second slide only, that if the same noun has an article difference, then also here, when I say this, let's say this is present in C, a woman, and this was present in B. So C has to come before B. C has to come before B. So that is equally important, that when you have the article, the same article repeated with a noun, you will have to take the general information. I have a clock in my room and the clock struck 12. Clear? So here's the second way of forming a pair. The second way of forming a pair, or at least eliminating with the help of article usage. Now the third part. Third's going to be really helpful. First we make it, then I teach you how to read. Third one is going to be real good, which is talking about now. See, we already know what can be our introductions. We know what can be a pair after an introduction. A noun pronoun pair is usually easily discernible and is quickly made also. But there can be some other methods of forming pairs also. Now that some other method can be, which can be with the help of chronology. Now this is another tool. Sometimes dates, events are given. Sometimes dates are given. Events are given. Some kind of clues are given where events, dates, some kind of data is given, which is talking about the past to the present format. So here always they will follow a chronological order. Chronology is going to be followed. Now here, let's take 2-3 examples. Sometimes clues are also given in the format of the primary reason and the secondary reason. They can also be one of the reasons followed by some other reasons. Or also it can be dates, like for example, events, the childbirth, followed by child baptization. Can you see here? A birth will obviously come in the beginning, an event. Here it can also be a merger of two companies and then the success events, a launch of a product and then the success of that project. Dates can be given in the format of, let me just say here, 1901, then we have 1948, and then we have 2001. Can you see they're all lying in chronological order? So past to the present, events of the past followed by events of the present, dates can be given, clues can be given from the beginning and in the end. From the beginning and in the end. So easily we can make out that probably we will have all the things that are going to be arranged in the order. Now, from medieval times and to present, it can also be from times immemorial to now. Can you see this is also chronology? From the time immemorial now, from past to the present, with dates, with events, with occurrences, with understanding of something that talks about the initial reaction to the bill, and finally the summation to the bill. The first move and then finally it led to this. So usually clues like this led to this cause. So first the action, and then it can also be here cause first and then followed by an effect. Cause and effect. As soon as the government introduced the new federates, markets started to tumble. Cause and effect. As when we saw that the market, the chip industry was down, the effect is that car manufacturers are facing trouble in car delivery. Cause and effect. So understand there can be a cross. So here, my third, I'll keep revising noun pronoun. Second was same nouns and articles. And also we can have nouns and half names. And the third one is chronology is sequence. Yes, very nice. Chronology is sequence with dates, events, and occurrences. Now we're left with 3 more, and then we quickly jump to our questions. Now, the fourth slide will talk about 2 things. See, as an author, I introduce a thought, and then I want to elaborate my thought, or I want to extend my thought. So how am I going to extend that thought? So when we're talking about how the author is going to extend his thought, so these are your clues for thought extenders. That means you can extend, the author extends his thought. And these are your clues for thought extenders. Now, what are thought extenders? That means these are words you will use to highlight that I am extending my thought. I like to give you such a plain example from your first class, wherein you wrote your first 4 lines by saying, I have a dog. My dog eats bones. My dog eats bones. And then you wanted to say, just have a look at this. At this line I'm saying in Hindi, he eats biscuits. Now you have to add, my dog eats bones. He eats biscuits. So if you were to join, you were really you're going to say what? You will say, my dog also loves eating. Moreover, he's fond of meat. So aren't you extending your thought? What was the clue for you is words like moreover, in addition to. See, this is a clue to the person who's reading the Parajumbles. That means I am extending my thought by adding in addition to, along with, also another reason. He might say one of the reasons and adding on by saying adding on. Some other reasons, another reason or another flaw, moreover, in addition to, along with, also, and these are all adding on factors. And also we can add to this by saying furthermore. So this will be a clue. Now, please understand, when you see these words, yes, it's a very, words like besides also can be added here. Besides. So now understand one thing, just have a look what is lying. Whenever you find these words in a paragraph, look at the line that follows these words. Immediately you'll get to know what kind of thought are you keeping before this. What kind of thought will come? See, when I say he eats biscuits, so you know some line in front of this has to talk about some eating habit. So it becomes so easy then to search in the remaining 4 lines, where is that thought, which is adding on or extending to the authors. This is basically an extender thought. Extender, where you're adding on to what the author has already said. Okay, now similarly would not, because similarly can draw out a parallel also, and they might not be lying in juxtaposition. So similarly might not be added on here. To add on, furthermore, to elaborate, to also another, besides. Usually you will very often find authors using moreover, furthermore, and in addition to, adding on to my thought, to elaborate. These would be my thought extenders. So this can be, now can you see 4 pairs? Is it possible? Can you just imagine, can an author, yes, you're writing that word, but it's Siddharth, you have written that, but also bhi likh diya na apne. Also, I've already mentioned that. Also, he's fond of. Moreover, he's very fond of eating biscuits also. So when we say it like this, so you know the pair is going to be formed. Most important, this pair not very much used, but here comes the next pair that we're very often going to use, and I'm highlighting this by saying thought reverse. Now you'll say, what is a thought? Just 1 minute. Let me just take a reason. Just 1 minute. So just 1 minute. No signal आ गया. So thought reverse will be where the author gives a contrast to his thought. He's presenting a contrast to his thought, and these will be words where we are trying so here. So thought reverse is a part, and these are always present. Hamesha honge ye. And the one who can understand this pair formation, your Parajumble questions are going to come absolutely okay for you. What are the words? I'm writing the words here. They can be, however. Second one with a but. nevertheless, despite of, in spite of, and despite. I'm so sorry, here it should be just the word despite, not despite of. It should only be the word despite. In spite of, nevertheless, however, these are contrasts. On the contrary, the other side of the picture, immediately now understand, for a thought extender, you always looked at the thought that was lying before it. Now here, or read a line that's lying after these words. Go and find out I'll give you a very simple method. Please pay a lot of attention. Supposedly, I was looking at a line with however, or on the contrary, and I go and read that line that's following these words, and I go and realize that the tone, when I say the tone, please don't get me wrong here, tone means that the message conveyed in that line is positive. I know the line that will precede or will come before these words will be a negative line. So here we can just look at the thought by keeping the thought and looking at the tone. Now the thought is despite followed by something which is negative. Something negative or positive, you know what will come before this. So it can be despite hard work, he failed. Although can be another word. That's a great clue somebody's given me, although. So these are on the contrary. So can you see, this is what we've done. This is our fifth one. 5 slides we made with thought reverse, thought extend. Is it possible that the author does not use any of them? The only thing that will be possible for us is that we train ourselves to find his clue. He is leaving clues for us, and we have to search those clues while forming the paragraph. Now, have a look here. So this is the 5th one. Let's go to the next one. 6th one. The 6th one is this is going to be used rarely, which is saying that sometimes the author might do a conclusion also. And now here, obviously from this conclusion, you can make out that these might not be the first lines, but they might not also be the last lines. So here words like thus, finally, ultimately, therefore, hence, would be certain words which might point out that the author is trying to conclude, finally to sum up. This led to is giving you a clue that these lines will come towards the end. They might not be they might not always be the line E or D. There might be a line after this also. So understand, you find a word thus, and then you see an option choice which is having this thus in the E option choice, and you say this is going to be the last line. Might not be. Sometimes it may be, and sometimes it might not be. There might be a line one more line after the concluding line. There might be one more line or maybe 2 more lines after a thus, but for sure a paragraph will not begin with a thus, therefore, or a hence. Yes, to sum up, hence, this, therefore, finally, it led to the result of, which is clearly talking about all things leading towards the summarization, to summarize, to put it in a nutshell. So these are your 6 slide is not going to be really helpful in pair formation, but it will really help us in eliminate choices. It will tell us that any option choice where thus or finally is towards the upper part, that means in the beginning part, we will be able to eliminate few choices that probably this might not come in the beginning part, but this might not lead to a pair formation as solely a pair formation, saying that this will be the last line. Okay, now this next one. So the 7th one is where we are learning a huge thing, which is going to say always. Author will always, it will always follow the step of first there will be a general line followed by a specific line. The sequence and arrangement is always going to be general to specific, and then maybe general to elaboration, specific to specific. So here, this is how Parajumbles thought of the author. See, now imagine you are writing 5 lines or 4 lines on a topic. First, you will define or introduce the topic. Then you go on by giving some details to the topic, and then you give further more details. But sometimes, instead of being too specific, you start giving examples to your specific point, and then probably the example clue can come, and examples might have nouns also, and examples can have these clues by saying, for instance, to cite the case of, to exemplify, for example, another way to put it, for example. Now, if these words are given, it'll be such a wonderful thing that you introduce a thought, you bring a noun, and probably support it with an example. But arrangement of a line will always be, we follow the concept of first the broader thought, the generic thought, and then it follows the concept of the set and the subset. That means first we talk about a concept where we are saying we are having a larger thought, and under that bracket we are placing the sub thought or the specific thought, and then we might go into too much details, or we might cite certain examples. So if we really look at the pyramid of the author, will be something like this, that the author might give an introduction, and here my noun might come very handy to me. Then he goes on into giving specific details, or he talks about elaboration or explanation. He elaborates. He elaborates by giving idea expansion. So moreover, or maybe here comes my pronoun. Then he might go into more elaboration, or might go into exemplification, and finally comes down to conclusion. See, I might end my 4 lines here only. I might not give you an example. I might end my 4 lines only on elaboration, and I do not give you any example. That's why I said, but for sure, he has to talk about the concept and then go on with the elaboration of the concept. So keep in mind that first thought should be always an introductory or general line, followed by details and specific adding on ideas with specifics, and then might go to too specific. Okay, so understand that a Parajumbles is a name of the forming pairs. Now we've learned 7 to 8 methods of pair formation, and we're going to use this in solving questions. Now, first thing first, how this you've learned the basic concept. Now, how would I solve questions? That's the major area that you are here for today. And how would you solve the question? This is how your reading methodology should be. Now, these are my 5 lines. Just I'm not writing, then I'll open. After once I give you the concept, then I'll open with questions immediately. So these are my 5 lines, like A, B, C, D, and E. Hypothetically, I'm also writing option choices like C, A, D, B, E. So these are my 4 choices now. Should I go from option choices and solve this? No, never. It will be so much time consuming that, practically I'll have to read the paragraph 3 to 4 times. So going from the option choice will not be a wise move. We can take a guidance from the option choice, but will not like to solve by reading for CADBE, then going and solving CABDE. No, that will not be a right method. Another thing, a lot of students are also doing this thing. Hypothetically, I'll give you another choice. Let's say there is another choice which is starting with C, and it was something like this. Then people will say 3 choices start with C, so it will start. See, we're not doing any permutation, combination questions or probability. That the probability is because there are 3 option choices starting with C does not mean that the question will start with C. So please, no, nothing of this kind. We'll keep our ideology same, that we're going to solve it by reading once. That's why we're keeping our reading methodology very plain rather than going and taking the clue from the option choices. Okay? So here, let's ignore all option choices. We start plain. I'll do what thing? I'll go and see A. Now, For example, if all choices are starting with C, then C becomes a fixed line. Then we'll start with C. If all the 4 choices, then he's clearly saying C is a fixed line. Then the question is 4-line parajumble because line C is fixed. But if it is random like this, the ones that I've written in the square, if it's like in the box. Now, if you can see this, 2 of them are starting with C, 1 with B, 1 with E. So don't bother yourself by going from the option choices. Start reading A line properly. Read the A line properly. Start from A. Don't start from anything. Whenever you're reading, now this is a step that you all have to learn in reading. Whenever you're reading a line, make it a point when you're reading a parajumble line to skim that line and come down to the key element of that line. Key element means I skim it, and skim means I am working out the essential element, the topic of that line, and making it short by freezing that line under 4 to 5 words, or maybe 3 to 4 words. Because see, and I'm looking now, what question will you ask yourself? The question that you're asking while you're reading A line, is there a presence of a noun or is there a presence of a pronoun? Can this have a noun or a pronoun? And I read by squeezing the line to 3-4 words. Now, do the same process here. Go and find out the B part and read the key element of B. And now, again, squeeze it to 4 and 5. You'll have to repeat this till C. And then something or the other, one or the other pair formed, or another thing that will happen is you'll have to see whether A, B, and C, how are they related to each other, or they're not related. That can be another great thing. That can be another vital thing. Now you find out that A, B, and C will never be related to each other. What will I do? I can go and now start minusing my choices. For example, you say A and B can never come together. A and B can never come together. So can I just go and see my choices where A, B are lying together? Here and here BA. So I can just minus these 2 choices. So now my starting line can be a guiding line. My starting line can be a guiding line. So if you either I work a pair or I work that this pair will never be formed. This pair will never be formed. So that can be another great way of eliminating choices. I'm opening questions to you. There is no hurry. We'll read each and every line and we'll try squeezing and skimming the line and making it shorter. So here, just give me 1 minute to read. Wait for just 1 minute for.
प्रशांत सर पीसी दबाने से वो नहीं खुल रहा मेरा।
Okay, let's have a look at this 4th question. I'm looking at the 4th question. Ignore all option choices. Ignore all option choices. Just don't look at option choice. We're going to read the 4th question. First line, can you see there is a clue? What clue is there? There is a danger that it may become formal. Okay. There is a danger it may become formal. Tell me what word What word or words catch your attention? I want to know that from you. Tell me. Okay. Any one of you can easily write to me and tell me what. Okay. Weber, tell me now. Which word catches your attention? It. Wonderful. So here, this is what I was saying, whether there is a presence of a noun or there is no presence of a noun. Okay, so here, read the first line and here it is. We underlined this it. And how will I skim and make it shorter? A danger, it becomes formal. A danger, it becomes formal. Clear? Let's go to the second line. Let's go to the second line. All of you look at the second line now. There should also be a deep concern for national welfare. There should also be a deep concern for national welfare. So here, I'm underlining deep concern for national welfare. I'm stopping now for 1 minute. All of you, very good. I could see so many of you writing it, very good. I'm reading few names, though otherwise people will feel that ma'am is not reading. Okay, so Aryan, Anadi, Hasika, Siddhak, Himank, all of you, wow. But just now, all of you, just pay attention. Is it possible that A and B can form a pair? Can it be like this? Or can it be like this, B and A? Or can A be the starting? Did you see how much I analyzed by reading? Let's forget. And here there's another, somebody's giving me a clue also. तो क्या A, B साथ में आ सकते हैं? A, B साथ में आ सकते हैं? Tell me that. Is there a line match? Can A, B follow A? I don't think so. A was saying danger of becoming formal and B says some deep concern for national welfare within also. So I don't think A, B will come together. Yes or no? Would you agree with me the moment I say A, B will not come together? How many of you would say, yes, ma'am, we agree? Just any one for, okay, A, B will not come together. Amisha, would you agree? A, B cannot come together? Not possible. Wow. And for sure, A will not begin if there is, because it is so ambiguous. What is this it? It becomes formal, danger of it becoming. So it will not start with A and AB will not be together. Now see how wonderfully you guys help me do it. So can you see the B choice? AB, I can minus my B choice. Yes or no? And obviously, if you all can see, even BA is not possible. If AB, then BA is also. There should also be a deep concern for national welfare. There is a danger that it may become. So I can minus these B and C choice. Ye to ho gaya? Would you be happy? Yes, understood how I did. I've just read 2 lines. I haven't read the remaining 3. With 2 lines, I could at least eliminate 1 choice. That is my C choice, B choice for sure. AB will not be possible. Let's continue. Here comes my noun. Oh, wow. Democracy can save itself by constant renewal. Save. Now I'm stopping. I won't move further till you help me form a pair. Now, what are we left with? There was a DA pair and there was a DA pair. So I don't need to bother myself. That work option choice has done for me. That work option choice has done. Now, the only step is I go and see DAC or DAE. India has been described as the largest democracy. Can you see? And says there is a danger that it may become formal. DA. Okay, Tanmay says clear like crystal. Okay, Tanmay, that's so nice. So here, All of you clear? So DA हो गया बच्चे. अब मुझे बताओ A के बाद E आएगा या A के बाद C आएगा, and our answer is going to be done. See, it's all pair formations. Quickly see this and your answer is going to be decided. Let me know then. Yes, so here India has been described as the largest democracy. Democracy can D kiya, there is a danger that it democracy ke liye it. Because you can't repeat the noun like this, DC. That's wrong. That's wrong. So if we start here with D, go to A, there is a danger that it may become formal. And then after that, what are we saying? Should I say democracy can save itself by constant renewal? And look at the clue here. Look this clue. Look this join. Read karo iske piche. Join this somewhere. Form a pair and join it. Which one was talking about concern? There should also be a deep concern for national welfare. Moreover, it should be, there should be this concern for national welfare. Moreover, it should be, so can you see the EB pair? Answers D Delhi. Answers D Delhi. Very good. DAC EB. Not A option, it should be DA. Is A becomes wrong because, please have a look here. A becomes wrong because A and E are not linked. Can you see the A? There is a danger that it may become formal, and you say moreover it should be free from corruption. What is the pair here? Look at this. It was lost here only. Answers D. Very good, Ria. Very good. A and E did not match because A talked about there is a danger, it may become formal. And E said, moreover, it should be free from corruption. What? It's absolutely not good. Okay, let's go and do the next one. Acha, Abhi. Let's go further. Just give me 1 minute. I shift the question. Abhi, fifth question pe aa jao. Let's ignore the options again. Let's ignore. I can't hide the options. I would have done that. Read the A line. Ask yourself a question. The authorities must be cautious enough to prevent. Acha, 1 minute. Read A line. Acha, very good, Tanmay. That's nice if you're saying it's easy. So look at this. The authorities must be cautious enough to prevent such misadventure. When I'm reading my A line, you, my teacher, tell me what word should I focus in my A line in question 5. Jaldi se batao, mujhe kisko dekho? Should I focus on the word authorities? Yes, it's a noun. Mujhe acha lag raha hai. But must be cautious, mere ko to ye bahut acha lag raha hai. Because what are these such misadventures? Maybe national welfare, and he says, I'll come back to that question, Udit, if you want me. Yes, such misadventures. First we solve this, then Udit, I'll bring you back to the 4th if you have a doubt there. Internet is one of the most modern communication techniques. Wonderful. Out of A and B, which one of them is more generic? Which one of them is more generic? I think mere ko to B lag raha hai. I feel B is a more generic than my A. Yes. B is more generic. And another thing, did you see, all of you see here? Purposely I ignored this. All option choices are starting with B. So that means this, instead of a 5-liner, it becomes a 4-liner. Ab to bahut easy ho gaya. Ab bahut easy hai. This line is fixed. Internet is one of the most modern communication techniques. And here's my clue now. Look at my clues. C also has a clue of but, and D has a clue of it. Use them wisely and help me form a pair. B is fixed. A you have read with such misadventures. Form a pair, but there is a danger of foreign businessmen encroaching into the field of Indian technology. Okay, wonderful. It may be regarded as a milestone. Okay. It might be regarded as a milestone. Read all the 5 lines. Read all 5. This is a typical question of what? Did you see a chronology? I'm giving you a clue. Chronology. Chronology ढूंढो. See how they're saying? Very good. शाबाश. किसने मुझे ये दिया है? उदित, वाओ बच्चे, वाओ, शाबाश है. अश्मित, आपने भी बहुत अच्छा मुझे बताया है. बट ये देखो, पहले चीज स्टार्ट होती है फिर माइलस्टोन बनती है, या पहले माइलस्टोन होती है और फिर स्टार्ट होती है? यू टेल मी. फर्स्ट थिंग स्टार्ट्स एंड देन इट बिकम्स अ माइलस्टोन. इंडिया हैज जस्ट स्टार्टेड ट्राइंग इट नेशनली. व्हाट? ये देखो, एक और किस चीज को नेशनली ट्राई किया है, वो तुम्हारा फिक्स है. तो कैन यू सी द पेयर बीई? अब बीई पेयर सर्च करते हैं. यहाँ पे भी है, ये तो 2 में है. अब बस मुझे कुछ नहीं करना, इसके बाद चेक कर लो सी आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा. अगर आ रहा है तो आंसर हो गया, अगर नहीं आ रहा तो फिर भी आंसर हो गया. चेक, बीई पेयर बन गया सबका. वाओ. जस्ट सी, बीई के बाद सी आ सकता है. जस्ट चेक दैट. I'm going to read here. Internet is one of the most modern communication techniques. Then he says India has just started trying internet nationally. It आ गया मेरा noun pronoun pair. Clear? उसके बाद वो कह रहा है सी रख दो. But there is a danger of foreign business encroaching into the field of Indian technology. क्या ये होगा? I don't think so. मुझे तो नहीं लग रहा ये. इससे बेटर ये नहीं है. Check B. It may be regarded as a milestone in the development of communication facilities in India. And then I say, but there is the danger of foreign business encroaching into the field of Indian technology. The authorities must be cautious enough. Now see here, general to specific, dekho bete. Field of Indian technology. And subset is authorities of that must be cautious enough to prevent such misadventure. Misadventure क्या है? ये ना. तो कौन सा आंसर है? Answers. Very good, very good. Option C, बहुत लोगों ने कहा. Milestone always comes, you know, milestones are achieved beta. First you start a project and then you achieve a milestone. So Tanmay, what you're saying to me as the milestone will come first, probably you know. Yes. So have you seen how, see, this was a typical question जहाँ बहुत सारे हमारे पास contrast clues थे, हमारे पास general to specific थे, हमारे पास noun pronoun थे. So when you're doing it individually, it's impossible कि आपको कोई clue दिखे ही नहीं. Yes. Siddharth, very nice. Now let's go further. Just give me 1 minute again. Okay, let's come to the 6th question. 6th देखो. Sixth, I am not reading. You guys have to read a line and make it short. Think only A and B are existing, but only A and B. Think of A and B. There are no 4 or 5 lines. There is just A line and there is a B line. So you have to see how A and B are aligned to each other. Are they lying together? They can never come together. Acha. Sorry, Tanmay. Absolutely, bete. What you're saying is good then. Ye dekho. Pronoun. Look at the plural, they. Read A and B line and tell me, can they come together? Yes. Akshat, wow. Akshat, amazing. चलो बताओ मुझे, बाकी लोग भी बताओ. Can they come together? Education is a shortcut to get employment and a livelihood. They cannot satisfy the thirst for wealth and possession. Okay. So when you're saying AB can come together, if you're saying AB, some people are saying no. Chalo, forget that. Continue with the C line. Now read the C line. Many people have no idea about the correct purpose. Now out of these three, tell me which one is the most generic line, introductory line that can be kept as an introduction. I think all of you by now have understood that C can be the opening part. So ये देखो, ये choice चला गया मेरा, ये ठीक है. Okay, that's okay. C is there, and C is there. And now my problem is solved because all three have a common element as CA. ये the pair है. And then after that only I have to check is whether it can be E. Okay, let's go and see. CA is done. Many people have no idea about the correct purpose of education for most of us. ये देखो बेटे, many people or us, noun to pronoun, noun and pronoun. Us and many people, noun and pronoun pair, that's formed. After that, please see whether you'll be able to link a B or whether you'll be able to link a E. Can I after that say, but money and position is always led us astray if we do not have a good character? Yes, yes. Which one out of B or E will come after A? How should it be B or should it be E? Check and tell me. And give me a reason also. Acha, shabash. Anadi, yes. ठीक है, C-A, somebody says it should be C-A-B. Wow, that's a great thing. Why? You're absolutely right. Because here, look at it. They cannot satisfy the thirst for wealth and position. Many people have no idea about the correct purpose of education. For most of us, education is a shortcut to employment and a livelihood. Clear? And then comes B, Bombay. And please have a look here, which clearly says what? They cannot satisfy the thirst for wealth and position. Now the topic has moved to wealth and position, and see now how it goes. But money and position always, but ये देखो contrast. ये इसका plus side और ये इसका but से. यही तो बोल रही थी कि इसके पीछे देखो क्या आएगा, इसके आगे क्या आना चाहिए. E line पढ़ो. It can't be. A में तो वो contrast है ही नहीं है. A and E did not have that. ये गया. ये पहले ही जा चुका है. Answer हो गया है. See, that but clue helped you solve. And another thing, now let me just give you another. Suppose you missed on the but clue. Can I just clear and show you? 1 minute. Let me clear so that we are all right here. Lead us astray if we do not have good character. See here now. The only means of achieving satisfaction in life is the formation. We do not have, then the only mean is the formation, expansion to the character. We don't have, so you know एक और चीज थी, आसान देखो बेटे, ED was a pair, और ED pair इसमें था, इसमें नहीं था, इसमें नहीं था, इसमें था, दो में था. बस अब आपको चेक करना था कि C, A और E does not form a pair. So answer. Easy method to solve. When we'll become proficient, we're going to do it like this. हम एक पेयर बनाएंगे, उस पेयर को ढूंढेंगे ऑप्शन. जो आज my today's class is teaching you how to form pairs. So once you become pros in forming pairs, then you will go and see the pair. Suppose you had formed a pair कि मैम BE pair तो होना ही होना था. बस आप जाके देखो आंसर में ही है फिर. That's yours. So let's try this method in the next question. ठीक है, try करें, थोड़ा try करते हैं. कोई बात नहीं, गलती तो होगा, पर क्या होगा? गलत होने के लिए तो कोई problem नहीं है. चलो, अब I am going to just give me 1 minute. तुम्हें पता है टेक्नोलॉजी और तुम्हारी टीचर. चलो, आ जाओ. Let's solve 8. 7 छोड़ दो. Let's solve 8. पहले 8 solve करते हैं, फिर 7 पे आते हैं. एक I don't want the answer, I want a pair. बस एक pair बना दो, सारी lines पढ़ कर. Pair बना दो या ये कर दो कि ये pair नहीं बनेगा. You can go both ways. You can tell me that this pair will never be formed or this will be the pair that will be formed. So we can go both ways. I'll be happy both ways. Once you're read with all the 4 lines, just give me a thumbs up कि हमने पढ़ लिया है. अच्छा, somebody's already formed a pair. That's nice. शाबाश. अच्छा, एक आप मेरे लिए एक नाउन और प्रोनाउन का पेयर बना दोगे सब लोग. इसमें देखो नाउन एक ही जगह पे है. ये रहा people, so far people. बाकी सब जगह पे तो बिजनेसेस हैं, एप, प्रोफेशनल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. पीपल के साथ कौन सी लाइन जुड़ सकती है मेरी? देखो, नाउन प्रोनाउन का पीप करो पेयर. नाउन प्रोनाउन. वुड यू बी एबल टू फॉर्म द नाउन प्रोनाउन पेयर फॉर मी? ये देखो बेटे, और तो कोई चीज प्लूरल है ही नहीं इसमें जिसको मैं लिंक करूं. ये देख रहे हो, ये तो 101% मेरा डी और ए का. आई एम राइटिंग हियर डी और ए तो पेयर कोई तोड़ ही नहीं सकता. आप ध्यान से देखो, जरा देखो सब लोग. और अगर आपने भी बनाया तो वाओ, ये बना दिया. बहुत तन्मय ने बनाया, सिद्धक ने बनाया, अवंतिका. वाओ वाओ वाओ, ग्रेट. आई एम सो हैप्पी. तो ये बन गया. अब चलो ऑप्शन चॉइसेस पे आ जाओ. अब मैंने जानबूझ के तुम्हें ऑप्शन नहीं दिखाए थे. अब चलो आ जाओ, आ जाओ. अब तुमने बोला कि डी और ए का पेयर है. अब जाके ऑप्शन चॉइस में देखो. You said DA, not there. You said DA, not there. You said DA, it's there. Don't bother. Don't bother. Don't bother. देखा तुमने? DA is a pair and बस खत्म. उसके बाद मुझे कुछ करना ही नहीं है. अब DA पेयर, क्योंकि तुम कंफर्म थे, you were so sure कि DA is a pair. अगर हम प्रोस, ये मैंने इजी क्वेश्चन में तुम्हें बना के दे दिया है, बट ऐसा if you practice, believe me, you'll be able to do it like this. बस खत्म. DA पेयर एक ही जगह पे था and you are so confident. So many people, at least 50 people here have given me DA as a pair. Now, if DA is a pair and that's there in only one choice, now even if it was in 2, then not to worry, then also I can decide by the opening statement. And another thing, now let's form another pair in this. Let's form. Up to तुम्हें answer ही disclose हो गया. Can we just go and see how it starts? It starts with most businesses fail due to lack of professional administration. And then it goes D. So far, people believe that honesty was the best policy. Now, so far, now, look at this. Now they admit that also adding on thought extender. DA was a thought extender, noun, pronoun, and extender. Chronology so far and now. Absolutely. So here, DA forms a pair, and you knew B was the opening line. B was the opening line. Then you said, then obviously you went on into doing this pair. Then you went on into saying, now they admit that aptitude also is highly necessary. Aptitude helps, to decide upon profitability and feasibility. And look how nicely we can link it to success in business is a combined. ये देखो बेटा, प्लीज ध्यान दो, क्या ये combined बात नहीं हो रही? Did you see this clue also? Aptitude helps to decide upon profitability and feasibility. Success in business is the combined result of professional administration. So I don't have to go that far. I'm hiding again. Acha, chalo, abhi just 1 minute. Bas. No options are available. Rearrange yourselves. Another tricky part we are doing now. This time, I'm not asking you to form a pair. I want you to form an answer choice for me for the 9th question. So you have no options. Now you have to give me. And my question to you, sometimes these questions also come, which is the last line of the paragraph and which is the third line of the paragraph? Chalo, bas, jab rearrange karoge, tabhi to ye answer karoge. ठीक है, so I'm changing my question. आपको मुझे थर्ड लाइन बतानी है इस पैराग्राफ की क्या है और लास्ट लाइन बतानी है. क्लियर? चलो शुरू हो जाओ. अपने आप रीअरेंज करो, पेयर बनाना सीखो ऑप्शंस के बिना. डोंट बी डिपेंडेंट ऑन ऑप्शंस. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई वांट यू टू फॉर्म पेयर्स. अच्छे से बनाना. मैं अंडरलाइन कर देती हूँ कुछ तुम्हारे लिए क्लूज. एडिशनल क्लू पकड़ लेना बस. दे टू, ये दे टू कौन है ये देख लेना बस. इसके साथ पेयर बनाओ. अच्छा, मुझे स्टार्टिंग चाहिए ही नहीं, मुझे तो क्लू चाहिए बस. मुझे तो पेयर चाहिए. अब तुम पेयर बना दो बस मुझे और मैं खुश हो जाऊंगी फिर. हाँ जी, 9th क्वेश्चन विच 9th ही विजिबल है आपके बोर्ड पे बिना ऑप्शंस के. हुआ कुछ के नहीं हो रहा. शाबाश अवंतिका, वाओ. अश्मित आपने भी बना लिया है. पेयर बन गया. जो मुझे पेयर चाहिए था वो पेयर है. यस, थोड़ा थोड़ा एक पेयर तो बना लिया तुम सबने. पेयर बन गए. ये सबका पेयर बना है. ध्यान से देखो, ये पेयर बना है सबका. सीए पेयर. We have organizations like the CBI investigate charges of crime and corruption. The curious fact is that they too are not beyond charges of corruption. देख रहे हो? Organizations and they, noun to pronoun. CA का तो पेयर पक्का है. ओपनिंग लाइन बताओ. अब ओपनिंग पे आओ. ओपनिंग लाइन बताओ. किससे स्टार्ट करूं? How do I start? I think I want to start with B. B is my opening line. Now, अब देखो, अब एक और method. We are learning another method. But CA pair आपने सबने बना लिया. शाबाश. B आपको opening पता लग गया. अब आपके पास बचा क्या? आपके पास बचा E line और आपके पास बचा D line. So either E can come here. ये तो ओपनिंग है. ऑल ऑफ यू विल नो दिस इज ओपनिंग, दिस इज पेयर. इसके बीच में तो ई आएगा नहीं. ई को इधर रख के देख लो और ई को इधर के देख लो. आपको पता लग जाएगा क्या पेयर बनेगा. क्या बीई का पेयर बन रहा है या एई का पेयर बन रहा है? बी. यस, वेरी गुड. बी 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 हमेशा सबने लिख दिया मुझे. बी इज ओपनिंग. शाबाश. बस खत्म हो गया ना फिर आपका आंसर. अब मैं ऑप्शन चॉइस ले आती हूँ. लो, और खत्म तुम्हारा चॉइस. अब लो ऑप्शन देखो और देखो हुआ आंसर कि नहीं हुआ कि नहीं हुआ. अभी भी हुआ है या नहीं हो गया? हो गया, बस सब कैपिटल में लोगों ने लिख दिया, इतने परेशान हो गए। वेरी गुड। BECAD, CA was a pair, CA pair तुमने बनाया था, just 1 minute। ये रहा बेटे तुम्हारा पेयर, CA पेयर। CA पेयर कहीं नहीं है, तुम देखो, देखो तुम, और तुमने कहा B से स्टार्टिंग होगी, खत्म। हैप्पी। थर्ड लाइन इज व्हाट? C, लास्ट लाइन इज D। अब वो तो तुम वहां पे, हाँ, because somebody saying why can't it be BED? Okay, we can just have a look. Please, all of us look at this. There's a doubt here. First of all, DA won't be there because when we say common people have adjusted themselves to corruption, thinking that it is something which has come to stay. Okay, you are saying this as D. It won't follow E, bete. People famous for their integrity are being accused of corruption and malpractice. Common people have adjusted themselves. So that is no pair, and DA won't come like this. After saying a D, you'll not be able to say a E. The curious fact. There is nothing curious fact. There is no curious fact. That's why. Akshat, is it very clear? There's somebody who's asking me this. I'm forgetting the name. Clear? Is this clear? Why it will not be that pair? Why not BED? No, Udit asked me. Udit, have a look, beta. DC will not form a pair. Pair is CA, not DC. This is wrong. DA is not a pair. Pair is CA. So there you go, faulty. Yes. So now let's try our hand at a little difficult question. अब थोड़ा सा difficult. अब तुम थोड़े pro मुझे लगने लग रहे हो, and I'm really liking the way a lot of people are answering. So I'm giving you a little more tricky question. Okay. Okay. How do I hide here? In this now, my demand this time, forget about rearrangement. I don't want rearrangement. I'm not teaching rearrangement. I'm teaching you pair formation. ऐसे करो, इस question number 12 में मुझे दो pairs बना दो, कोई से भी दो. I am providing you no clue, and I am giving you 1 minute to read all the 5 lines and form 2 pairs. Form 2 pairs. 2. Give me right in the inbox then only when you've made 2 pairs. Banao 2 pairs. I'm not underlining anything. I'm not helping you. Take 1 minute. Don't be pressurized by time. So take 1.5 minutes to solve. At the end of the day, pairs banao bas. Make 2 pairs. बने कोई पेयर बन रहे हैं, 2 पेयर्स बनाओ, इजी बनाओ, आसानी से दिख जाएगा. क्रोनोलॉजी भी है इसमें, क्रोनोलॉजी भी है. देखो इवेंट क्रोनोलॉजी है बेटे. उदित एक बार ध्यान से देखो दोबारा. Ria, wow, you're going the right track, beta. You're going the right track. All of you in this, have you seen as a finite life-giving resource, access to water? Just 1 minute. Must remain a fundamental right. The right. ये दिख रहा है तुम सबको, मैंने सिखाया है तुम्हें, जरूरी है मुझे the fundamental right ही कहना है. I told you, you might have Mahatma Gandhi or you might have, ये देखो अब आप, the state as custodian under the public trust doctrine should upload the right of the citizen to access to water, मेरा fundamental right है, and the state should upload the right of the citizen to safe clean drinking water. मेरा एक पेयर CA है, एक पेयर मुझे और चाहिए. मैंने एक पेयर तुम्हें बना दिया, रिया ने वो ठीक बनाया है, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. उसके बाद मुझे एक पेयर और चाहिए जिसमें वो सॉल्यूशन भी दे रहा है. अब और पढ़ो, सी लाइन चली गई है तुम्हारी, ए लाइन चली गई. अब इन 3 लाइंस में पेयर बनाओ, एक और पेयर बनाओ. उससे लिंक करने की जरूरत नहीं है. सोचो ये 3 लाइंस है तुम्हारे पास, द नेशनल वाटर पॉलिसी, और ये देखो यहाँ पे बनाओ. सीए तो हो गया, सीए मैंने बना दिया. नदी, वेरी गुड, आपने भी सीए बना दिया तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. और बनाओ, अब इन तीनों में से बनाओ एक पेयर. बी डी ई में बनाओ. लेट्स से दीज आर 3 लाइंस अवेलेबल, मेक अ पेयर. ओके, शाबाश, वेरी गुड. बीई का पेयर बना रहे हो? बीई पेयर तो कोई नहीं है, मुझे तो बीई नहीं लग रहा. किसी ने बहुत अच्छा बनाया है. ये कौन है जिसने ये बनाया? बहुत, मैं नाम ना बोलूं. केडी मायर. हाँ, और खुशी ने अच्छा बना दिया है. खुशी बहुत अच्छा बेटे, बहुत अच्छा. बस अब ये देखो, all of us now look at it. See, he says in D, if you can see in D, he clearly says many areas in the country are water stressed and there are simmering interstate disputes on sharing river water. Then what does it saying? That many areas are suffering from water problems and there are simmering interstate disputes. The national water policy now published in the draft for public comment should ultimately take a holistic view of the issue. पेयर बन रहा है कि नहीं बन रहा? पेयर बन रहा है या नहीं? अब देखो, बना दिया मुझे, ये के जी ने बना दिया है, सिद्धार्थ ने भी बना दिया है. तो बच्चे सीए का पेयर बना, एंड ये एक मेरा पेयर ये बना, मैनी एरियाज डी, और फिर मेरा बना नेशनल पॉलिसी. ये तो सॉल्विंग द प्रॉब्लम है और ये प्रॉब्लम है, तो ये डी भी तो आगे आएगा नहीं, सी ही आगे आएगा. बस अब प्रॉब्लम क्या रहेगी? ई को रखने की. देखो ई को रखना है, बस अब रख दो ई को और खत्म कर दो. It won't come in the end because ये तो खत्म हो गया. C. Now I'm opening options. Just give me 1 minute. I'll open the options for you and now decide the answer. देखो अब options देखो CA was a pair. ये रहा बेटे तुम्हारा CA pair. देखो CA pair gone. Look how easy you made your life. Should it start with B? No. It should so you know your answer. So you know your answer because you formed this pair also, DB pair. A. Okay, very good, very good. I hope समझ आ रहा है. All of you are able to understand. Okay, now I'm giving you one more question, and now this time an easy one for people those who are feeling थोड़ा trapped. उनके लिए I'm changing my gear and I am going to a little simpler question. ये लो. Question number 1. Question 1. Options के साथ. And time 1 minute. 1 minute. Question 1. Time is also 1 minute. So nice that form a pair. ये बहुत easy लगेगा. अब देखो मैंने मुश्किल पहले करा दिया, अब तुम्हें ये बहुत easy लगेगा. बस यूज करो इनको और कर दो ठीक. ध्यान से पढ़ना. पेयर बना दो. पेयर बना दो. It should start with what? I am not going to start it with creative work should be our watchword. No, I am not going to start with this. No. Form a pair, then only this question is going to be solved. Form a pair, then only this. Don't try going from options. बहुत confusing होगा. This is one tricky option I've said, though the length is very small. Form a pair. No, Tanmay. What you're saying is galat hai. Yes. Udit, KD, Anshika. यहाँ आप लोग सब ठीक कह रहे हो. बहुत अच्छी बात. A CA pair is for sure going to exist. All of you check the CA pair. We do a lot of talking and theorizing. But in terms of practical value, this day is coming for talking and theorizing. We do a lot of talking and theory, but in terms of practical, see contrast, CA has to be there. CA is here, it's not here, it's not here. My life is solved because CA dono hi hai. Now I only have to check whether D follows A or whether E follows A. And here my answer will come. Look, again, you formed a pair. Okay. Nikhil sir says that his session is going to go live at 8. Nikhil sir, my session will end at 7:30. I'm going to end the session at 7:30. So in case if you wish to start, you can even start at 7:30 or okay. But he's already written that his session is going to start at 8. So people are very happy. They are putting such great smileys. Wow. Parajumbles ke liye bhi aise do char smileys dalo that we are understanding and we are liking this. A lot of people saying, okay, so is this clear? So he's going to go live at 8 o'clock. So half an hour, you can have a coffee or whatever you like. So here, can you see how we did this? Now check CAE or CAD and we'll be done. We all do a lot of talking and theorizing, but in terms of practical value, they do not impress very much. Day is for this. What we need today is practical work. So CAE, not CAD, because after that the affluence writers are here. This respect, kaun si respect, bhai? Which respect? So it has nothing related to A and D, don't go together. A and D have no pair because he talks about this respect and the affluent society. But which respect? So this is gone already, that was gone. By forming one pair, my answer was done. Okay, so good to go. Let's all take the second question. We're just doing last two questions for the class, and here are the ones. We're doing the second question. All of you, second question, and then I'll do another question, and then we're through. No. And that is just a joke. Apart, jokes apart. I'm so sorry, and you've taken it literally. I do. Thank you so much for saying that. But those are such kind words. But it'll be helpful if you all learn the technique to solve parajumbles. That'll be the smiley for me. Solve my question number 2, and immediately I'll also bring 3. Then 2 and 3 together. So these are your 2 questions that I am putting together on the board. I'm trying to bring them together on the board. I think it's not possible. Thoda possible. Okay. So both the questions together. Question number 2 and question number 3 together. Now these are your last 2 questions for the day. Look at this clue in this. Please take the help of this clue. You know this will not come. I explained to you this will not come in the beginning part like. So obviously take that clue. It will come in the latter half. And take this clue. There are 2 of them which are concluding. This was basically telling you if you have a conclusion clue, how you're going to use. This is not buoy, this is but. This is but. Solve both. "40 seconds more, and then we're through. Then I'm starting with my discussion. For people who are still solving, 30-40 seconds more for you. Okay, I'm beginning now. I'm beginning. Can I begin? Okay. Question number 2. All of us have a look here. A and E had to form a pair. Can you just see this? A and E had to form a pair. Indian political life has been dominated by our sentiment of opposition to alien rule. Did you see the meaning of this line? It has been dominated by our sentiment of opposition to alien rule. That means as a country, we were so many years dominated by the British. So now our political life is like oppose alien rule. Okay, consequently, democratic aspirations were relegated to the background. Relegated is they took a second position, takes an inferior. So AE was a pair. AE was here, AE was here, and AE was also here. So that did not solve much of my problem. So next is, will it be AE? I'm going to now do, only thing is I'm going to use my tool of elimination. Whether C forms a pair or I can form another pair. If you can see, the other pair that I can form is between D and C. The constitution was not the product of urge for freedom and the leaders' idealized tradition. See, now going in the same line. So I had a pair with DC also. Now I want to search my DC pair and that's only going to be there in my answer choice. AEDC. See, now let me read all the 4 lines together for you to help you understand the thought behind. The Indian political life has been dominated by our sentiment of opposition to the alien rule. Consequently, democratic aspirations have taken a backseat, relegated. That means have gone to a secondary position. And look at D saying what? Now, the constitution was not the product of urge. It goes specific. See here. This is a typical example. Intro. Then elaboration. Further specific elaborations. Now talking about the constitution was not the product of the urge for freedom and the leaders' idealized tradition. Thus, social and moral atmosphere is not suitable for democracy. Clearly talking about how it is dominated by the sentiment for opposition of the alien. Last question for the day. First, let me clear and then start. Okay, the last question, this is but. Here also I'm going to form one pair and all of you can easily see that pair also. If you can see, some say that quantitative expansion is achieved at the expense of quality and immediately it should be followed by B Bombay. It is true that standard has fallen in general sector. Agar aap dekho, it is true that it has fallen in general sector. Clear? Now take this clue and see how he goes into giving you then details on this subset to this. So another thing, if you can see B ke baad and the number of substandard institution, general sector, substandard institutes, general. See, this is, don't take the word general here. This was defining intro and goes on to talk about example of substandard institutions. So B or E. एक पेयर बनना चाहिए था और B और E का पेयर यहाँ था और यहाँ था. But it won't start with B, it's going to start with D, Delhi. And answer will be this. It's B, Bombay. Answer is going to be B, Bombay. Okay, so today's class, I've been able to explain to you some bit of Parajumbles. My entire class was devoted to help you learn how to form pairs. But obviously, this with practice is going to be further fine-tuned. And in your classes, we'll do different. Today's class was a basic foreground for teaching and helping you understand the topic. But in further classes, we'll add and fine-tune our understanding further. And saying a bye to all of you. And it was a nice session wherein I think all of you solved like 10 questions with me. And now back home, what are you going to do? You're going to open your Parajumble exercises back home. Now don't practice 5-10 questions at one go. See, in your papers, you will not have more than 4 to 5 questions. So intention should be that you take 5 questions, max 5 questions. because after a point of time with practice with Parajumbles, one starts getting bored. Or the second thing is that, then the logic of forming pairs is also lost. So my suggestion would be not more than 5 questions at one go. So do 5 in one set, see how many pairs you would form, and then see the arrangement. That's all for the day. Bye. I rest here then. Thank you and stay blessed. Bye. And so session is going to start at 8 o'clock. Thank you so much.